Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys are watching romantic comedies. I'm Cory Cavin.
My name's Jon Sieber.
We're Kevinless today.
Kevinless.
Kevinless.
Sorry, Kevin. We got to record. Okay, quick update. Last time, did we talk about last time when we were recording here and we thought that New York City was getting bombed?
Oh.
Really, Kevin just stomping around on his roof because we accidentally locked him out of his house?
Yeah, totally. I wonder what that was on. But yeah, the last time you and I were together, and then we found out what happened.
Yeah.
We see him come through. We see him.
He put on socials to embarrass us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He took a reel of just all we see is over there a hand come out with a camera. First we heard that creak. We were like, and we were like, what the? And then we just saw a hand come through with a phone. So scary. And then we heard like the Crypt Keeper laugh.
Annoying ass laugh.
But what had happened was we record in the studio in his apartment.
Yeah.
And we had locked the deadbolt. And he doesn't have a deadbolt key. He never. Now,
so if you ever want to rob
Kevin's, just
Kevin,
you don't have to get around a deadbolt. You got to get in the building first, but you don't have to get around a deadbolt.
And if you watch his new comedy special, you'll learn that there's no repercussions for robbing him either.
That's totally true. Come in, steal his bike, steal anything.
It doesn't matter.
Nothing's gonna happen. He's gonna lose it in court.
Spoiler alert. He's
Spoiler alert.
Mention his co-counsel who spent 6 hours with him that day.
Who was that co-counsel?
That was me.
I know.
I think that morning I yelled at
Martin Shkreli.
No, yeah.
I thought y'all might have seen Martin Shkreli.
Farmer bro. No, our not Cuomo, but the other guy, whatever.
De Blasio. Was he at the court when y'all were there?
So they were doing road work on our road right outside of our window on 4th Avenue.
Oh yes, I remember this.
They were doing it at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Just heavy drilling.
Yeah.
And I talked to the subway people and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything. That's above. It's the road people. I talked to the road people. They're like, it's for the subway. So it's it was just a bunch of bullshit. I'm talking 3 months every morning, 3 o'clock, 6 feet from our window, jackhammering.
Good Lord.
So Katie and I are operating on no sleep. We're just pissed off all the time.
Don't have a baby yet.
So
the luckily, totally. Yeah.
This is right before COVID. So I was on the train going to see Kevin and De Blasio comes on with a film crew to talk to citizens about how great of a mayor he is. And so he would go up and be like, hi, I'm Bill de Blasio. Let's talk about my platform. And I just started screaming like a crazy person. I was like, you're doing road work at 3 a.m, you fucking crook. And he's like, sorry, 1 second, it's been a lie. And he'd try to talk to the next person. I would just start screaming again. And one of his assistants is like, sir, we need you to keep it down while Bill de Blasio is talking. I'm like, I'm not going to keep it down. He doesn't keep it down when they're doing road work at 3 a.m. I'm not going to shut up. I just totally went public freak out.
What
Super
happened?
Subway Karen. This guy gives me his card. He's like, if I fix the problem for you, will you shut up? I was like, no, I don't believe you. And he's like, I need you to be quiet. This film crew's expensive. And I was like, if you don't fix this, I didn't threaten him, but I was like, I will fucking kill you. He gives me his card. I email him. He's like, I'm on top of it. Noise stops.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
And they were no longer drilling.
What?
Yeah. And I'm talking, we submitted a 301 claim every single night for over 100 days. Nothing happened. I talked to this guy, gives me his card, noise stops. So true to his word, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, that is a huge B2B Bill de Blasio tangent right there.
Yeah, totally. Big B2B. But you know what? I'll say this. For as much stuff as off pod and on pod, as much crap as we give into Blasio, that lets me know
his little minion has some power.
Hey, things get done if you get in the way of him filming his Subway advertisement that didn't get him reelected.
I need to find that because I imagine there's a bunch of B-roll footage of him talking, just looking to his right as someone is screaming off camera.
They keep cutting his words off.
And then I went and sat in a courtroom with Kevin for 6 hours and he didn't even give me any credit because he's a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, check out Kevin's new special out sometime. I don't know when, but he did some of them over Zoom. I think some patrons might have done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in it, but you're not in it.
I'm not in it.
Yeah.
Conveniently
totally
ignored. Just like Veronica and Bianca. Bianca and Kat and Cameron.
Totally.
And all of our friends from 10 Things I Hate
About You.
What is a thing that you hate the most about me?
Wait, were you okay?
Let's do this.
That is like the time though. There was one time where I don't know if you said, "Do you trust me enough?" But there was one time where I was like, "Just tell me a very honest critique of me." And Kevin was like, "God, I'm too afraid to ask for that." And then you told me, you were like, Cory Cavin, 5 minutes late. And it was absolutely right. I will say this. I have gotten more punctual.
Yeah.
I've gotten way more punctual. I beat you here by like a minute today, although I was still kind of running late from what I said I would be here.
That's fine.
But I'm really punctual until I'm not. And then I'll be 25 minutes late. Like there are sometimes I just really,
which is fine occasionally. Really, it's just when it's 95% of the time, then I'm just like, and I'm not talking about you specifically because someone that I'm very close with, live with, has the same problem.
share a family with.
And I'm like,
yeah, because her and I are the same person.
Consistently 5 minutes, then like you're just being inconsiderate at that point.
Totally. Yeah. A lot of times, and Katie, and we will 100% get back to the episode, but a lot of times it is being inconsiderate, but you don't realize it.
Yeah.
You're just like, Katie and I have always talked about like, I have 20 minutes. Cool. I could watch part of a show, do a 10-minute workout, and send this email before I need to leave. It's like, no, you can't do any of this.
And while you're wrapping those things up, I'm usually sitting on the corner, like scrolling through my phone. Being,
absolutely.
Where the fuck are they? I had a roommate and I started a timer of how much I waited for him. His name was Andrew. And we lived together for 1 year and he owed me like 17 hours of me just sitting there.
Wow.
It was wretched.
That sounds,
anyway,
that sounds like a move. I wonder if Kat would do that. Kat seems like a person in this movie who it's not that she's inconsiderate of other people. Yeah. It's that she is singularly focused and she's just like, I don't care about this stupid society of stuff. Yeah. Like the society wastes too much time. What were you going to say? You were like, what are 10 things?
I was just going to say, like, what are some of your pet peeves? What are like 10 things that you hate in someone else? The proverbial you.
Yeah, sure. I don't like a lot of mouth noises. I don't think I have music. You're about to do it.
I was about to do it. No, I absolutely will not.
I don't know. I don't think it's full on misophonia, but I'm not doing the mouth noises. I think it's because when I was growing up, my sister hated it and it transferred it on to me. She also hated eggs, but I love eggs. So it didn't transfer everything. I love eggs. Eggs are amazing. But
you're very good at cooking eggs too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our office had a hard-boiled egg cooking competition. Were you the judge or did you participate?
I was the, no, we had other people be the judge, I think. But did you and I participate together?
I think we were on the same team. And I think did we use an Instapot?
I think we used an Instant Pot too. Yeah. We were doing hard and soft boiled eggs. Yeah. But I did research for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hate chewing noises. It's weird. It's very circumstantial. There will just be certain people that it'll be I hate overhearing people in a restaurant. And I really don't like, and it's stereotypical towards certain people, but like, I hate sort of Valley Girl type. It's not even really Valley Girl anymore, but just certain types of people talking where it's just like, they're kind of like doing like this. And I was sitting beside some people at a restaurant recently, and there were two girls who were just like, oh shit, that's amazing. Oh my God.
You basically described Red Scare podcast.
I did describe Red Scare, which I'll say this, like, don't hate that podcast, but I did exactly explain
like
their voices.
The sum of all their parts makes it entertaining.
It's true. It creates a whole vibe, but I do, you're right. I did just describe that, but I'm not just trying to pick on women. Like there are guys' voices.
Oh, totally.
I think with the guys' voices, it's more what I hate is it's this sort of like self-interested, aren't I interesting kind of like, that's pretty crazy. Cause like, okay, so I was doing this thing the other day, like people that are so blown away by themselves. Yeah. I think, and I will psychoanalyze myself to say that I think that some of it is that secretly I'm probably jealous that sometimes those people are so comfortable that they can just that they can just not care.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what's really cool about this that I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or that they can not care enough to fully pronounce words and just
That's so.
What about you? What are things you hate?
I hate and this is so privileged of me to say.
Okay.
I hate small, inconsequential injustices.
Okay. Explain one.
If a store is advertising something and then they're like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm like, you have to. You said that you would.
Sure.
Are you not a store of your word?
Sure.
And that boils my blood. I hate when someone says they're going to do something and they don't do it.
Yeah.
I hate when people treat others differently than they want to be treated.
Yeah.
Just like the general things.
I think you're a pretty fair person.
Thank you.
You are. And for the people that you work with and people that you do so, I've seen you try to be okay, you're very impartial about things.
Thank you. I try. I try to be that.
It shows. So I could see that
it backfires,
but I could see how that would then annoy you.
Yeah.
When people do that.
Yeah.
So those are the things we hate.
So yeah. What do you hate?
What do you hate,
listener?
Leave something in the comments of what you hate. And you know what?
I hope it's just like John. Whenever he talks, whenever he opens his mouth, I want to throw up on my shoes.
I felt really bad about this. It came up the other day that we had a friend of the pod saying that he was hanging out with this girl that he was friends with, and he found out. He was like, hey, my friend is a big fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, that's cool. He was like, yeah, we were hanging out the other night and she was doing impressions of John.
Yep. And they weren't interesting. Were they like, oh, he had some really cool philosophical things to say?
No,
it wasn't.
He said she was just speaking in monotone, which is not true. You have inflection to your voice. It's just that Kevin and I sound exactly the same. Kevin and I went to a party last weekend, a friend's birthday party. It was one of my friend's birthday party. Kevin didn't know the people there. He came as one of my plus ones. And the guy came up to me halfway through the party and he goes, hey man, did you know you and your friend talk exactly the same? And I was like, people that listen to the podcast say that too.
Yeah, they say that. No, I felt like Andy Hartman, Ron Hart. Who's the
Hartman?
No, Hartman. From News Radio.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
He had a monotone. That was his bit, right? Or
he Phil Hartman. A lot of people.
I'm Phil Hartman.
Yeah, a lot. Did you know The Simpsons? Troy McClure.
Oh,
hi, I'm Troy. He's Troy McClure.
Yeah,
But people sort of credit Phil Hartman with kind of the I'm a male salesman, the kind of male or spokesman voice.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, my voice is more robotic than spokesman.
But it's gotta.
I think it's this mixing equipment. I think it's this stupid Zoom.
I will say.
I think my voice is sweet, like candy and roses, and the stupid microphone situation that we have here makes me sound like a muffled envelope.
We did at some point try to fix it one night. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You and I were like,
and then we both realized, you just have a shitty voice.
No, we did spend some time though. I was like, I agree. We need to do.
You just have a voice that sounds like it's coming through a pillow.
Oh, that's what that girl said to you in high school. Is she still around?
She is. Let's go watch some High School Girls right now.
Speaking of high school, if you haven't watched 10 Things I Hate About You in a while, or you didn't listen to our first episode, we're coming in at the part where they just dropped the flyers.
Yep.
At this point, they're about to go to the party.
Yep.
I think Cameron is making a little bit of a play for Bianca at this, and we're gonna have some really great scenes in it. Patrick, what is the actor's name? Why did I forget? Heath Ledger. Thank you. Yeah, Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles are going to have some chemistry here. I don't think he really wants to go to a party, and she definitely doesn't, because she doesn't like parties. Yeah. So we're going to have a little bit of good teen movie romance happening. There we go.
Parties are cats' mouth noises.
There we go. Hey, Katie, my twin, take it away.
Ooh.
10 Things I Hate About You. Directed by Gil Younger. Kat Strafford, played by Julia Stiles, is beautiful, smart, and quite abrasive to most of her fellow teens, meaning that she doesn't attract many boys. Unfortunately for her younger sister Bianca, played by Larissa Oleynik, house rules say that she can't date until Kat has a boyfriend. So strings are pulled to set the dour damsel up for a romance. Soon Kat crosses paths with handsome new arrival Patrick Verona, played by Heath Ledger. Will Kat let her guard down enough to fall for this effortlessly charming Patrick? And now, back to the boys.
Welcome back.
Dude, we watched the second half and we also took our hats off.
We took our hats off. We ordered the best pizza in Brooklyn.
Good Lord. I've worn one of their t-shirts in a pod before.
Yeah.
But Pizza Moto. Good Lord.
It's so good.
Not a sponsor of the pod. Would gladly.
Dude,
they don't need to sponsor it because we order the pizza all the time. But I
would do anything for them to sponsor our podcast.
That was so good.
Pizza Moto, so good. They got all sorts of like crazy, weird pizzas. Like they have one with like maple syrup and egg and bacon, and it's very good.
Yep. They've got the salsa verde, which is just got salsa verde and onions.
We did the Jersey. What did we do? The Jersey pork?
No, we did the sausage and pepper. Pretty down the middle one of theirs, but still, really good.
And trout Caesar salad.
Trout Caesar salad, so good.
But we're back. 10 things I hate about you.
Yep.
There's so much stuff going on in this movie.
I mean, it makes sense that it is based off of a Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
Because they're
Taming of the Shrew, right?
Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
And there's just so many twists and turns.
Were you a big, like, the Kat and her friend are like big Shakespeare in high school people? Did you have a Shakespeare crowd in your school?
I think there was one. Like, we didn't have a big theater department in my school. And, but I think that there were some big Shakespeare people.
Yeah.
That I think later on became like some of the theater people.
What is it that attracts? This could be a dumb question. I think so. What is it that like attracts like that archetype of like high school Shakespeare person?
I wish Kevin was here because I feel like
he would know.
Yeah, I feel like even if he wasn't a Shakespeare person, like he falls into that category because he knows a lot of Shakespeare. I mean, he went to school for theater, but I don't know.
It makes sense. I guess like in high school, you're looking for like a strong figure to attach yourself to, whether that's like a music genre or like a sport, or, you know, if you're like interest in the theatrical arts, then it's like Shakespeare's the Grand Poobah. He's the big one.
Like, I'm sort of jealous of people that did that because I got into things like I was into a lot of things.
You know, you were into Tony Hawk.
I was into a lot of skateboarding.
Who's the Shakespeare of skateboarding?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's absolutely the Shakespeare skate. Well, is he? He's one of them. Him and Rodney Mullen.
No, it's Tony Hawk.
I don't know, man. Mullen invented a lot of tricks.
It doesn't... Trust me, as someone who's outside looking in, I 100% promise you it's Tony Hawk.
I do want you to, we'll have a conversation with another.
I mean, maybe Mullen, you go get other skateboarders to tell me how much is Mullen, and then I'll go ask every single other person in the world who the most famous skateboarder is. Yeah. And they'll all say Tony Hawk.
Absolutely. I mean, most famous, sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So maybe you're right. But like, I do think if you're into Shakespeare, it's a thing that even if you take it on as an identity in high school, you probably like are so into it as an identity. Yeah. But you don't realize that you're taking in really like some of the most amazing works written in Western culture for the past, 500 years or something like that. And then you will have that later. Whereas yes, having knowledge of Tony Hawk is, it actually helped me for a job one time. Yeah. But beyond that, I think if you read, 30 Shakespeare plays, it enriches you later in life, probably more than punk rock. And I also read 3 Shakespeares. I mean, there you go. Got him a presidency. Yeah. I read 3 Shakespeares. But yeah, I think it's very enriching. I think it's one of those things that you learn in high school. It's almost like learning to play the piano when you're a kid. Yeah. And then it's just like, oh, I got to read Shakespeare. And then later on in life, you're like, oh, I'm glad I read that.
That's like the shittiest thing about life is all the stuff we're forced to do when we're uninterested in it is like all the stuff I would love to do now.
Absolutely.
Like if I were forced to wake up, eat breakfast, and then go learn about Shakespeare and like biology and like how math was invented, I would be like, what? And I don't have to work. That sounds like the best thing ever. And then you just like every couple minutes you go out and do recess.
Yeah.
But like I hated school. I just didn't like school. I was uninterested in it. I was, bored for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's like such a travesty that I lost so much of that.
I liked it. I liked school. I liked it. And my high school, I mean, I think you went to a high school that seems like it's like a school, and even though this movie's set in Seattle.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about your high school. Your high school is
mine's like the high school from Mean Girls. It's like that 100%. That's what that movie was based off of.
It really, yeah. Like you went to a literal John Hughes school. Totally.
John Hughes lived like 500 yards from my school.
Yeah, totally. Didn't he tip you one time when you delivered pizza?
Every time. He would order and we'd all fight over his tab, $100 tip.
That's amazing. But I mean, I generally did like school, but I know what you're saying. Like I procrastinated so much. Yeah. And I know, like I thought the other day, I was like, man, it'd be really cool if you had the money to just take off for a year and go live somewhere and do a year where you're like, I'm going to learn to get really good at piano. And then then I was like, well, I guess you would have to find a really good teacher.
I thought you were going to say it would be really cool to go through school all over again. And then I was like, isn't that just Billy Madison?
That's just Billy Madison.
So hot. What to touch the hiney.
I guess if you look at his experience, was it cool to go through school again? It ends up that way.
Yeah.
He meets Veronica Vaughn.
Yeah.
Veronica Vaughn.
No, it would be amazing. I would love, that's why I always used to joke with like my mom. I was like, I would love prison. Just like, I'd love to go to prison. Just sit, just go to free classes, like get a bunch of degrees. Like the shitty part would be for me would be coming out of prison.
You'd be like Brooks and Shawshank.
Yeah.
You had to reacclimate to the world.
If I could commit like a nonviolent crime and just do 20, I think like I'd really dig that.
Like a white collar prison? Like if you did like embezzlement?
Yeah. I would come out. I would be like, I'd be educated. I'd have degrees. I would try to do projects. I don't know.
There are other things that could happen though. You would maybe have to like,
I'd get shanked.
Yeah. You'd have to get cool with like the Aryan Brotherhood. You'd have to be like, I don't believe exactly. You're like, I don't believe that stuff.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're like, wait, that guy's Armenian? Hold on a second. What? But no, you just be like, I don't agree with what they're saying, but I don't want to get killed.
Yeah.
I always give them my cigarettes.
I mean, Arrested Development does that.
Arrested Development. They do it so well.
I'm having the time of my life.
White Power Bill.
Yeah. Dirty Years Bill.
Yeah. Dirty Years. Wait, White Power Bill's got Dirty Years. Hey, Dirty Years Bill, everybody.
No, I just think it'd be fun. Like, I don't know, being forced to do something like that now is like, that would be awesome.
I have a friend that talks about that now who is around our age and he has a young child, like he has like a 6-month-old. And we talk about the time he was like, I can't wait to be retired. I'm going to be such a good retired person. And he just talks about, he's like, I'll go hike, and he's like, I'll do community stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just that, it's watching movies like this too. It puts on the nostalgia filter for stuff like not even for the kind of high school they're in. Like you can see that and be like, that's not totally real. But I think it does make you think like, man, I could have done it differently.
Yeah.
And you could have, I mean, I think that about a lot of time in school.
Yeah.
But I guess like part of it is being there in the moment.
Yeah.
And you got to want to do it then.
Yeah. I wouldn't trade my high school experience for anything because I think we've mentioned this. I live in New York. I live within like a 4-block radius of 5 different people I went to high school with.
Oh yeah.
We're all raising our kids together. Mm-hmm. We're all still like really close. So, I love that. I love the relationships I formed in high school. I'm talking about like the subject matter, like studying Shakespeare. I've quote unquote read like 5 different Shakespeare plays.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying attention to any of the lectures about them. And I just don't remember any of it. And that's a bummer to me.
Well, that's how I feel like when you and Kevin are you're specifically reading like the 100 greatest books, that list, and you and Kevin have read some together. And that is how I felt like, I'm like, oh, I want to read those. Cause one day I'll still be like, I haven't read those.
Yeah. Dude, we keep it classics. We keep it slow. We do 20 pages a week. Come on board. That's an invitation to anyone. Halfway through
we'll make that part of the podcast.
Yeah. And what's next? Infinite Jest is next. Come on board. Come on board. Come on in.
This is a learning podcast. We're talking about 10 things I hate about you, but really we're talking about high school. We're talking about learning. We're talking about raising kids with your friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't tell Kevin. He'll be like, oh, why did you guys talk about boner?
I know, exactly.
Why don't you shut up?
Hey, guys. I jacked off in front of my mom.
So there was only like a couple scenes.
Wait, hold on. Real quick question. Then I
wonder if his neighbors think he's home.
Wait, when I'm not here, is there an impression y'all do of me?
No, we don't make fun of you at all.
Really?
You guys make fun of me?
We make fun of you, but the way we do it is we do dumb voices. We go, oh, I'm John. I have a wife that loves me very much.
That hurts,
I'm John. I have a great child and I'm successful. No, it's like we do it in a way that we're like saying, oh, I'm John. I've really set up my life so everything's going to be really successful and I found love and meaning.
Okay.
That's what we say. Yeah, that's literally what we say.
We do an impression of you, but it's like, hello, I'm Cory, and I have a bunch of Emmys. Look at how successful I am. Look at all my hardware. We've never done that before.
Oh, those things don't matter, though. They don't matter. What matters is people.
There's two main scenes that kind of happened in this.
Yeah.
Bianca convinces Kat to go to the party, and they go to the big party at like Bogey.
Bogey
Rumenstein's
I want to
place.
say Bogey Lewenstein, but it's not that. But it's something like that. Yeah.
And you just have a big party where kind of all this stuff happens.
Mm-hmm. Classic movie high school party.
Yeah, classic movie high school party. Were you at parties like that?
I was at one party like that. I didn't really go to a lot of parties. My high school was different than yours, but my high school was not super diverse, but like a semi-diverse high school, not only racially, but also economically.
Okay.
It was a rural high school, but a lot of people from the city had moved there. So we had a bunch of farmers and farmers' kids.
Okay.
And then we had people who like had grown up in a city, but had moved out there.
Yeah.
But everyone, for the most part, really got along.
Yeah.
But I didn't drink or anything in high school, so I didn't go to any of the parties. But senior year, it was kind of like, it seems like this and kind of like Clueless, like all these groups came together and I went to one party and everybody was there and I was student body president and people were like, the student body president's at this party? They're like, dude, I thought you didn't go to parties. And then the cops showed up and I helped somebody carry a keg out and I really felt like I was part of the group.
Dude,
I was like, I hid the beer with
You're
everyone.
just hanging out with your constituents.
Listen, I was like, I want your vote.
Yeah.
I'll carry this beer out. I don't want us to get caught. I got you.
That's really funny.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the only party like that I went to.
Classic. It's a classic high school party. You got all the hijinks. You got people wearing lampshades on your head.
Totally.
You got teens rubbing up against each other.
Fights happening.
You got fights happening. Mm-hmm. Windows breaking. Vases being smashed. Cigars being smoked. And
DJ spinning.
Yeah, DJ spinning, wearing like a dressed like the Joker from the old Jim Carrey.
Big suit and glasses.
Yeah, big suit and glasses.
Totally.
With red hair. Spinning some discs. And it's just a fun old party. And the main thing that happens is I feel like Joey and Kat gets pissed at how big of a creep Joey is.
Yes.
Like Joey gets under Kat's skin. So she starts partying really hard and drinking.
Yeah.
She really lets go. She's dancing on the table. She's going crazy. Why'd you record that, by the way?
Oh, I recorded it. So
is it a famous scene from the movie?
It is a famous scene from the movie. Yeah. When Kat starts taking tequila shots.
Okay.
And then they're playing Biggie. They play Biggie Smalls, and then she gets. It is a famous scene from the movie. I also recorded it because I wanted to send it to Kevin, because Kevin, like anytime Biggie comes on, like I knew that Kevin would love that scene. That is a famous scene from the movie.
Oh, we just miss Kevin so much.
I know, we really do. We just talk about him all the time.
Oh.
But I would say that scene and a scene we haven't seen yet are probably the two most famous ones. But yeah, so that's why I recorded that one.
I've never seen this movie, so they're all new scenes to me. But and then with the Kat drama, she basically realizes how much of a jerk Joey is, and then kind of falls in love a little bit with Connor, like reconsiders Connor
with Patrick Verona.
We're talking Bianca now. I'm
Bianca.
Sorry. Bianca realizes how
Bianca realizes what a jerk Joey is when he's talking about his modeling.
And he's doing all his bozes.
Yeah. Bozes.
That's how Arnold says it. Bose.
I do my
I
bose.
drag my bose. It's as if I'm coming.
Great movie. Go watch it if you've never seen Pumping Iron.
Yeah. And so she starts hanging out with JGL. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah. Quick side note, and this is a little bit of a humble brag.
Oh, please.
I've spent a couple nights with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Really?
Solid dude. Solid guy.
What do you mean you've spent a couple nights with him?
Like hung out.
Just hung out with him?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you meant like you did like a slumber party.
No, we had intimate relationships.
We slept together.
No, a buddy of ours was his stunt double for a couple movies.
No way.
Yeah, like we'd go out, and like when I say hung out, I like sat at a table with him, like
that's hanging out.
6 people down.
That's way more than hanging out. That's way more than just being like, I went to a party that was like for a movie premiere, and I was one of the 300 people at the bar he was at. Like you hung out with him.
And then he invited that guy, same friend of ours, to like a concert that he did for Hit Record. We went to that as well and hung out after. And
that's awesome.
Like nicest guy, really solid guy.
That's cool.
Can't say enough good things about that man.
There you go.
It's wickedly talented too.
Wickedly talented.
Wickedly.
Adele Dazeem.
Sorry, that is my name drop for this episode.
That's a great one. That's a really good one.
And where were we saying? She sees Joey is kind of a tool bag. Yeah.
And she gets really disillusioned, and then she wants to leave the party.
Yes.
And then she says, Chastity, let's get out of here. Chastity played by Gabrielle Union. And then Chastity's like, oh, no, they say there's an after party. Yeah. And Bianca's like, I got to go home. And Chastity's like, I can stay out till 2. And so Joey takes Chastity. What a jerk. Whoa. You can stay out till 2. Whoa. And then, she asks JGL if he can drive her home.
And what happens in that car?
What's great is that before it happens, he really opens up. Yeah. He's just like, I liked you. Like you
treated me like dirt.
You treated me like dirt. I stood up for you.
And I learned French for you.
Yeah, totally. And then she plants one on him.
Yeah.
And the sparks fly.
Mm-hmm.
The sparks.
Meanwhile, in a different scene in the same car, Julia Stiles has completely, Kat has completely fallen for Patrick.
Yes, with Ledger.
With Ledger, and she leads in to check that Ledger. And he gives her the Iron Curtain.
He shuts the book on the Ledger. He just says, let's not do this right now. He
says, these sheets are balanced. This Ledger is clean. My checkbook is balanced, and I will lock the Ledger away for tonight.
That's right.
And then she meets the iron wall, and
she feels a little miffed.
She gets a little bit more in miffed. She's pissed. The next scene is like a montage of her angriness.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kicking soccer balls. She's shooting arrows and gym teachers.
Yeah. No, Bianca shoots the arrow in the gym teacher's butt. Yeah. But she's really mad because she feels like she let down her walls. And then he was just like, and I will say,
rightfully so.
He played it off like, you're hammered. Let's do this another time.
Yeah. And I mean that she should be pissed, but she doesn't know the extent of why she should be pissed.
Yeah.
Whenever you let down your guard and show someone your true colors and they reject that already is a horrible feeling that we've probably all experienced. So I'm curious as to see how she's going to react when she finds out that he's a paid actor for this proposal that he's moving in on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is where
would suck, man.
Also because I think he's like starting to like her.
Yeah.
Like before she kisses him, he like rescues her from the table drop when she falls. She goes and pukes on the swing, and they're like talking together. And then she's like, I should start a band. And then he's like, what's up with why do you have to ask your dad's permission? You know, he does a whole deal where he's like, listen, your sister's not all that great. He's really starting to like her, but he can't get away from the fact that he's just getting floated all the cash. So yeah. It's really the drama is going to be great because he likes her, but he's also a paid actor. She's finally letting down walls. And then, it's going to feel terrible.
My favorite part about this movie so far, granted, we're not completely done with it. But what I really appreciate is that they cast Chet Hanks in the movie.
Yeah,
if you remember, there's some white Rastafarian.
That's right. Yeah. Early Chet Hanks role.
I'm pretty sure it's Chet.
Emon! Yeah.
And so this is really appealing to me.
Love the teacher, the black teacher that said that to them. And then he did he rap the sonnet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, Shakespeare's a dead white guy, but we'll let it slide.
That teacher looks to be younger than most of the students in the class.
That teacher looks like he's a sophomore. Absolutely.
No, but I think this was the Shakespeare play, and maybe you and Kevin talked about this. Was it about teenagers or was it just about people?
I think it was about people.
Tammy the Shrew is about.
I think Tammy the Shrew is just about, like a lot of Shakespearean plays are about. I think it's either about royals or it's about. This is where Kevin will come in handy, or just anyone that knows anything about Shakespeare. That's not me, but it's not about teenagers.
Okay, because this movie, teenagers are just assholes, and they've been assholes for so long.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about teen movies.
Yeah,
is they play teenagers so differently than they are.
Yeah,
and like, do you know any teenagers?
I know. That's such a good question.
I mean, I do, but they're related to me.
No, but that's like, dude, if you're going on a first date this week, lead with that question.
Lead with it. And
then don't even respond. Don't even just move on to the next question. That is such a good question.
It's great to meet you. Chelsea, right? Yeah. Chelsea. It's great. It's great. You want to get, just give us 1 minute. Yeah. We'll look at them. Anything. Mm-hmm. So do you know any teenagers? Great question.
Oh my gosh. That's such a good starting question for a date. Or like a pickup line in a bar.
Hey.
I saw you across the room and I've been a while. I worked up a lot of courage to come over here and ask you this.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know any teenagers?
What?
Do you know any teenagers?
Do you?
What's your name? It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's such a confusing question.
It's such a confusing question. I don't. I know a teen.
I know a teen.
I don't know. I don't know how old people are.
That's the thing.
Okay. So the company that I own, we worked with a program, we worked with the city to give internships to like teenagers who were not doing good in school. Mm-hmm. So we had pre-COVID, we had a couple of them come in. One of them's nickname was the Wolf, and he just fell asleep every single day. And
you told me about the
wolf. We
would
just take pictures of him. And I'm by the way, if you're a city official, first of all, sorry, Bill de Blasio. Second of all, never send a problem teen to be an intern at my business, because we just fucked with the kid the entire time.
Do you feel like you enriched his life, or do you feel like he walked away from that just being like,
I made him sit next to me and I'd be like, I'm going to just show you everything I do.
Yeah.
And if any of it interests you,
that's good.
Let's talk about it. And so I would do client calls, and I'd ask people, I would do everything from taking the trash out to talking to partners that we have. Mm-hmm. And we'd have really good conversations, but we didn't give him like a list of things to do. We were just like, this is how a small business works. And like, you can observe it all. And like, if anything interests you, let's talk about it. He mainly watched anime and fell asleep. And then we would like, you know, buy like $100 of chocolate and just put it all, surround him in it or something like that.
Dude, the wolf sounds like he had a great internship.
And then I was driving home once with my business partner. We almost ran him over.
You told me that too. He like walked out. He like walked out into the street.
Yeah.
It was just a complete coincidence.
He had like long hair, really bad acne. It was awesome.
Awesome. Dude, I love the wolf.
I know the wolf.
I mean, like I said, I know teenagers that are related to me, that are like family. But I will say this too.
Where do you go to meet teenagers?
Like I was thinking, I was about to make a blanket statement about today's teenagers. And then I was like, well, I only know the ones that I'm related to. And I was like, well, do I know other teens? I don't know.
This is so funny because this is the problem with like, I'm going to take a political, like, this is the problem with like white conservative, like media too. Mm-hmm. They're probably trying to understand teenagers without knowing them at all.
Yeah.
Like, can't you imagine? Like Tucker Carlson probably has a room of writers and producers that are our age that are just like trying to get inside the teenager's brain. But like, unless you're a teacher in 7th grade, how the fuck do you get inside the brain of a teenager?
I have no idea.
Oh man.
Do you think he has teenagers, Tucker Carlson?
I have no idea.
But also, if you have teenagers, like, you know what a teenager's like. Yeah. They're your teenagers. It's not like you're like, you have a different relationship.
They're people, they're like acting different around you.
Yeah, because they're your child.
I don't think anyone can really know a teenager.
That's actually maybe a very true statement.
Man.
It's like true and profound and sad and
probably why there's so much teenage gun violence.
I mean, yeah, like it's a thing where, but it's a weird thing where like in this movie and in so many things, teenagers are just portrayed like adults. Have you watched Euphoria at all?
No.
I've only watched a little bit of it, but you know, they're portrayed. I wonder if it's more realistic there. But
is Zendaya in that? Is Zendaya in that? Is she Michi?
She's not Michi in that. No, she's just high all the time.
Oh, really?
She's very on drugs. But yeah, it's true. There's probably an unknowableness about it. I will say, in the teens that I know, which is the teens that I'm related to and their friends, they seem like they're really good kids.
But in front of you,
exactly. Like I don't know, exactly. Like I don't know.
Like, were you ever a dick in front of your uncle?
No,
exactly.
I tried not to be. I'm sure that I like went through some phases where I thought I was like cool, you know, and I was like, look at this cool skateboarding thing.
Yeah.
But you know, no, because I had a good family.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So you're right,
man. It's insane.
I will say though, have you been to like just like a high school football game or anything?
The last high school football game I went to, I was playing in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is like a trip to go to something like that when you don't have a kid there. I'm not suggesting that anyone just go
to a high school.
But like I've been with friends when I'm like visiting friends or something like that. It's funny to go and just see, because my mom told me when I was little, when she was talking about how to raise kids, and she was like, yeah, you just look at them as like little humans. Like you have to remember that they are actually people.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you go see teenagers. It's so fun that we're talking about teens, but like there is a thing when you go and you're like, oh, this is the social cue. I mean, like you think about it, teenagers way back in the day, you know, in the Middle Ages or whatever, like that was an adult.
Yeah.
You were having kids.
Yeah.
You know, also we died a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But
you were definitely like a feudal lord.
Yeah.
Or a peon.
Yes.
When you were 13.
Yeah. And you can see that potential, I think, when you see kids out, but it's just that they're forced to be in the world where they don't have a lot of power, but they could. Mm-hmm. Like Lorne Michaels, there's a thing, like they say, Lorne Michaels always says that if you ask someone what their favorite SNL cast is, they usually, do you like SNL? What's your favorite SNL cast?
Like when I was 13 or 14.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they say that it's when you're in.
That's so interesting.
It's when you're in high school or around then before you can leave the house, because it's the time when you have the most, I guess, like maybe the most independence but the least power.
Yeah.
Like you're basically just like, all right, I'm stuck at home. I'm ready to watch like adult stuff, but I can't go anywhere. So you stay up and watch Saturday Night Live.
That's so
and it's true because like SNL when I was in college was stacked with people. I didn't watch it that much.
Yeah.
I got into those like later, but I loved it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I was a teen.
Yeah. This is really illuminating.
This is really illuminating for sure.
Yeah. So the regarding the movie, I want to talk about if this goes through. We need to make the official Bradshaw Boys Is It a Romantic Comedy checklist.
Yeah.
I would not classify this movie as a romantic comedy.
This is falling more towards teen movie.
This is a teen movie so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be curious to see if anyone has like what makes a teen movie checklist and what makes a romantic comedy checklist, because this one seems to be gray, but on one side rather than the other.
What do you think Clueless is? Rom-com or teen or
teen?
Something? Teen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would love to hear a well thought out argument, not me just, blowing smoke out of my ass on a live podcast or as we're recording a podcast, but something like, I just feel like this should be classified as that and not a romantic comedy. And I think because I think this would be classified as a teen romantic comedy.
Sure.
I do not think like when I think of romantic comedy, I think like the romance is the leading quality of what classifies it. It's like romance comedy. There can be comedies with romance, and then this is like a teen comedy romance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes me think of movies like Can't Hardly Wait. Like it's leads more with the teen, and then the love story stuff around it is there, but it's based around the fact that they're all at school.
Like what's the way they sort library books? What's it called?
The Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah. Like is there a Dewey Decimal System for rom-com for movies?
I mean, I guess that would be IMDb. Right?
Yeah. So how does IMDb classify this?
Oh man,
I got my phone.
This would have been a great time to bring my phone with me. I mean, there's also Letterboxd, which the Letterboxd app.
You're thinking of Redbox?
I'm not thinking of Redbox. Woo, Redbox. I'm thinking of Red Fox. Letterboxd also would maybe classify it as that, but yeah, I mean, I'm not.
It's. Sure.
I mean, as you're looking it up, like Crazy Stupid Love, absolutely a rom-com.
Crazy, yes.
A relationship com.
But
I would consider that a rom-com.
Where do they put what it is? Genres: comedy, drama, romance.
10 Things I Hate About You, they say is comedy, drama, romance.
And I agree with that. I think it should be teen comedy, drama.
It should say comedy, drama, romance, and then it should have a separate category, teen. And then it should say, do you know any teens?
Do you know any teenage people?
Do you need teens?
Do you know any teenaged people? That's just like one of the funniest statements that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
It's just the funniest question.
Do you know any teens?
Do you know any teens?
What? And like that would be a really funny text to get from someone.
Yeah.
Just, you know any teens? And you're like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Why?
When I was single, my go-to pickup line was, I really like your blouse. Because I'm not sure what a blouse is.
Right.
And I just thought it was like a really, just start with that, and see where it goes.
That's funny. I think mine was just like, hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with so-and-so. How's it going? I think I would just start talking.
As you can tell, Cory and I are, we are whatever the opposite of Ryan Gosling is in Crazy Stupid Love. We're picking up girls.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
bad.
true.
We're bad.
Yeah, we're bad.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this ends. I feel like we should know. Most Shakespeare's were dramas, though, right? So
3 Shakespeare's. Most well, no, actually, Shakespeare had comedies, tragedies, and histories.
Okay.
So the histories would be, I believe, like King Lear.
Okay. Richard III or
Richard
whatever.
III. Yeah, it's the history. It's the, I forget what the actual, like the real term about it. The real term of it is, but it's basically him writing about the monarchy history of the land, and then he has
Tragedies would
comedies. Tragedies is like
Hamlet,
Macbeth. Yeah, totally.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yep, exactly. And then comedies are like Midsummer Night's Dream, Taming of the Shrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone is not going to die at the end of this, is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so here's a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we need to get a little bit back to 10 Things I Hate About You, but Romeo and Juliet, the movie, with Leo, rom-com.
No.
I think we said it was a rom-trad.
It's definitely a rom-trad.
It's definitely a rom-trad.
Doesn't that sound like a military term? Rom-trad.
Rom-trad.
Breaker 19 is rom-trad.
Speaking of, we got a rom-trad. Speaking of military, okay, so
oh yeah.
we'll get to where the plot is going, but yeah, there's a scene where Bianca, it just shows all the kids like doing PE. This is like one of those schools, like I said, like your school, where there's so many things happening at this school, and they're doing archery at PE.
I did archery.
Really?
Yeah.
We did not have archery. We were still playing like dodgeball in high school.
Yeah, no.
And then, but Joey comes up to try to ask Bianca about going to the prom.
Yeah.
He's sweet on her again.
Yeah.
But when she gets annoyed at him, she sort of turns to talk to him, and then she lets go of her arrow, and you just hear, oh! And then the shot pans, and she has just shot her teacher straight in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But in the background, there's just like military exercises going on. It's literally like they were filming Full Metal Jacket on the same lot, and they just didn't notice.
Yeah, you were like, are those people doing military training?
Yeah.
It's people in
I don't know, but I've been told.
It's people doing I almost said Eskimo, because that's the next line, isn't it?
Yeah, Eskimo pussy's really cold.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's people in khaki fatigues.
Yeah, just like.
Did you have ROTC at your high school?
No.
I think we did. I think we had all the practical stuff.
Yeah, we had water polo.
What? We did have a swim team, but they had to go somewhere else to swim because we didn't have a pool.
No, we had water polo and field hockey. It was a weird place.
We didn't have field hockey. I dated a girl in high school who played on the field hockey team. She went to the expensive private school.
Did she know any teenagers?
She knew so many teenagers. She was very cool.
That's all the time we got. We went on a lot of
tangents.
Took this one to a lot of different places.
A lot of places. Mostly teens.
This conversation was much like this movie. A lot of things going on, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous.
Totally.
You are our patrons, and we love you all so much. We thank you for being a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us a comment. Let us know if you know any teens.
If you have a teen, if you're raising a teen,
if you've successfully talked to a teen.
Yep.
If you know of any good teen podcasts that Cory and I can listen to.
Oh yeah, totally. If you see the wolf out there, tell us how he's doing.
Oh man, I want to say his real name so bad, but that would be.
You think he's a Bradshaw Boys listener?
Unless our next episode's about some sort of like anime, like
Attack on Titan.
I think that was like too mainstream for him.
Okay.
I think he's like not into the not into the stuff you can find on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Wow.
He's straight Crunchyroll.
Wow. That's amazing. Subscribe to our YouTube just so you can see everything we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that you probably subscribe to our Instagram.
Yeah.
Or you follow us on Instagram. Yeah. But if you don't, follow us. We're putting up some fun stuff.
We got some good stuff up there.
The next time we do 10 Things I Hate About You, I think we're going to find out what happens when they go to the prom.
Heck yeah.
More twists and turns. Do you think, real quick, do you think Bianca will be cool or not cool? And do you think Kat will be cool or not cool? Where do you think that's going?
Sorry, I did a mouth noise.
It's okay. I just did one there by accident.
I think Bianca is going to lose her shit and end up by herself-ish. And I think, no, the cat. And then I think Bianca will separate her dependency from Bianca.
Wait, you think Kat will lose?
Kat will lose her shit. Bianca will separate from her sister and be able to do things on her own.
Bianca,
I have no idea.
Bianca the Younger.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to read Taming of the Shrew sometime?
If it's on my list.
And I don't think it's on your list.
Did you look?
I looked at it last night. I don't know if there's any Shakespeare on that list.
Really? I think there is.
Let's see if there's any right here. We'll keep the patrons on just so you can.
If anyone wants the list,
what this list is, it's it's the 100
so
greatest.
Funny. We're only doing this because this is Patreon.
I hope this is Patreon. I'm pretty sure it is. I
hate like scrolling on my phone during a podcast.
I know, me too, but I do it all the time because I'm looking up facts.
Is there any Shakespeare?
This is a list that John got that's from it was like voted on for 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, they did 7 years of rankings of the top 100 books, and then they aggregated that. So for instance, this is like the nerdiest thing, is like they rank it by the number of appearances over 7 years and their highest average ranking. So the number one book on this list is Moby Dick because it made all 7 lists and it averaged number 2. The next book would be Brothers Karamazov because it was on all 7 lists and it averaged 4.
That's kind of like how we did March Bradness.
Yeah.
When we did it, you did a lot of probability rankings for the best guys. So like in Sex and the City.
So like the top 12 books all made every single list. They weren't all like in their spot. Mm-hmm. And then the 13th book was on 6 of the 7 lists and it was average rating was 18. So that's how it's ranked. And it looks like for Shakespeare, we have number 23 is Hamlet.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm looking through 100 books here, people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you can get it quick.
I don't see any other Shakespeare. Is that accurate?
Maybe. They're plays, and so they maybe don't get the same weight as voting. Yeah. Speaking of voting, go to the comments in the Patreon. Tell us what you want us to do for the next movies.
King Lear's 95. So
there you go.
Hamlet 33, King Lear 95.
There you go. Let us know what other rom-coms, rom-trads, anything that you would like to hear about movie-wise. We need to do some stuff with Sex and the City people too. Yeah. People have said serendipity a lot.
Let's do it.
Got Aiden in it. All right, cool. Thanks. Later, taters.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Kevin James Doyle, and Jon Sieber. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon, and narrated by Katie Sieber. This podcast is part of the Seltzer Kings Network. Check out all their great podcasts at seltzerkings.com. You can find the boys on their socials at The Bradshaw Boys or on their website at thebradshawboys.com. And as always, if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.